Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the podcast. In this episode I sat down with Jason Turner. Jason is an absolute legend with a real heart for young people, and at the moment he's working at a school with at-risk youth, and yeah, he just has such a beautiful heart just to see these guys flourish into all that they can be. And that was something that really impacted me throughout this chat, was just the nurturing spirit that he has, if that makes any sense. And you'll hear that throughout the episode. But yeah, he's just a really nice guy, absolute legend. And I had so much fun sitting down and having a chat to him. And I learned so much about his life. I didn't know much about what was going on, to be honest. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this one. I had so much fun recording with him. It was great. I really hope you get something out of this as well. I know you will. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday.
Yeah, it's hard to remember, hey?
Yeah, so Tuesday's a pretty good day for me. No programs. Yeah, it's just catching up with students that I haven't seen. And,
where are you working? What do you do again?
I'm at Logan Lee High.
Yep.
And I recently started a new position as the youth support coordinator there.
Oh, sweet.
So I was the chaplain since the start of 2018, and then I was successful in this role to get this role, and I get to now kind of focus on working with the disengaged students, the students with low attendance, and the ones that are kind of having troubles in class.
Just kids that are doing a bit rough.
Yeah. So some of them are like actual, I guess, legitimate family reasons or whatever, but others are just disengaged from school or don't want to be there.
Yeah,
so I'm working mainly with the grade 7s to 9s.
Yeah, awesome.
And then there's another person working with the grade 10s to 12s.
That's cool.
So just a lot of just checking in with students and planning programs. And
what do you mean by programs? Like,
so we either external organizations will come in, or I will run a program that kind of, teaches students some extra stuff about their well-being, or about, just about who they are as people, and how they can, do better in life and handle situations better. So the programs like, there's a program called Rock and Water that I run, Seasons for Growth.
Nice.
Yeah, so which is, some are tackling like grief and loss as well. So
yeah, that's a huge thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so that one's a fun one. It's just this small group of like 5 students, and then me just having chats about grief and loss. So which actually ends up being really good.
Yeah,
it's rewarding.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so
because I guess it's about some of these kids. They don't have any they're stuck in these situations. There might be something going on in their family. And if they've never experienced anything but that, and they've never had someone speak into, actually, what is grief and loss? Let's learn how to process that. They just never know how to do it.
Well, a lot of these students don't even know what grief and loss is, and that they're actually experiencing it, and why they're responding to certain situations. I never knew that probably in my early teens. And
no,
exactly. It's helpful to have someone, putting it out clear for you that you're responding to this because you're experiencing this, or you have experienced this.
This is why you want to act out.
Yeah.
This is why you want to do that.
Yeah.
And this is why it's not going to help you.
Yeah, and it's cool. Also, like from my perspective, seeing like the puzzle pieces in their life linked together, for seeing them click, and it's
where they see and what do you mean by puzzle pieces? You mean they're seeing, this is how I feel about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm probably wrong.
Keep going.
If they're going, I feel this way about this, but I've seen this person act this way about that. Okay, now how can I bring them together and realize, this is the reason that I'm doing this? Is that what you mean by that?
I guess, say, for example, maybe a teacher is yelling at the students because they're being annoying, and the student just gets so angry and agitated whenever the teacher yells. And the reason is because they've actually experienced some kind of, yelling in their life, in their own personal life outside of school that they didn't enjoy when they were younger. And that's why, whereas some students might continue to poke the bear and continue to annoy the teacher even though they're yelling. So,
yeah, that was me.
So I guess just seeing them realize, because this has happened in my life, this is the reason why I respond to this. Yeah.
And I guess if that's, say, been in your household, that's how people have dealt with anger, for instance, is by screaming at each other.
Yeah.
Then you would, as a kid, you just go, oh, this must be normal.
Yeah,
like even
exactly.
though it terrifies me potentially, this is normal. So therefore, it's okay for me to scream back at the teacher.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Or they're just yelling at me, but I've seen my parents scream at each other, and then they're okay with each other 10 minutes later. Therefore, the teacher doesn't actually have authority over me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, and then part of all these programs that we do, kind of teaching them other ways to handle conflict and just to work better together. Yeah.
So so you said you're working with year 7s and to year 9.
Mainly, yeah.
And then do they kind of have a path? So they've come through you in a way, like, so they've gone from year 7 to year 9. Then do they have somebody like you for year, 10 to 12?
10 to 12, yeah. So there's another girl who looks after the grade 10s to 12s in the similar workspace as me.
Yeah, cool.
So she runs programs with me as well. We do a lot of work together. But there's another person to support them when they go into the grade 10, 11 and 12. But there's also a whole heap of other staff at the school that we're all part of a big team. So it's
that's
really
cool that the school is like doing that.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's a state school, like a public
state school. Yeah.
So the government has put these positions in where people can do that.
Yeah. So we're really fortunate at Logan Lee to have heaps of wellbeing support staff. Like we've got a school-based nurse, school-based police officer, 2 youth support coordinators, 2 guidance officers.
Yeah, right.
Indigenous unit.
What's a school-based police officer doing?
Yeah, so they're there a couple days a week, usually in full uniform.
Yeah, right.
The gun and all, and I guess they have they do talks with the kids about cyber safety and a whole bunch of crime-related things, but they're also just there as a support person. A lot of these students might have family that are dealing with some legal things, or they might have questions about their rights or stuff like that. So, it's really helpful having them there.
Definitely.
And then, unfortunately, like sometimes students or members of the community or something might get really upset or agitated about something that's happened. That's where she's able to step in and kind of just resolve the situation. So, but it's another support person.
That's cool. Yeah. I remember when I was an apprentice, because I was electrical apprentice, we did some work at Kingston State School, I think it was.
Yep.
And the one kid, like, we went on Smoker or whatever. We were like doing this classroom.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're on Smoker, right? So we went out to some cafe, not a cafe. Traders don't go to cafes. Went to some place where you can get a Chico roll or something disgusting.
Something cheap and nutritious.
Something awful. As a first year apprentice, you just want something that's going to fill you up for like a week.
Yeah.
And we came back and I saw this kid walking past with my battery drill.
Right.
Like he just got into so we had a full construction site. So it was all like, fenced off with do not enter. He walked past my battery drill.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know if I can chase this kid through here.
Wow.
And there was a teacher like walking past. And I said, "Oh, that kid's got my battery drill," and the teacher went, "Oh, chase him, get after him." So me and this other tradie, no lie, we were running through Kingston School, chasing this kid, and I got my drill back. But then, as we were leaving, like at the end of the day, there's like 2 cops on like trail bikes just patrolling the like the oval.
Right.
Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
not awesome.
There's
But
there's a lot of I guess school-based police officers shared between schools down that way.
Yeah.
So
it's not awesome that they have to have that, but it was cool to see.
Yeah.
They're all these KTM bikes, so we're like, this is crazy.
Yeah, we had the school-based police officer brought in. They got this new, I don't know what it is, it's like a dune buggy or something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Like
almost like an ATV.
Yeah, like an ATV. Yeah. And she brought it into the school and got to hop in and ride around the whole school. And like Logan Lee, we got a huge property.
Yeah.
We got to go up and down all the hills and everything in this like decked out ATV.
They're pretty awesome, those things as well.
Yeah, so
like I've seen one of those in that. I think the cops had one in Queen Street Mall once.
Yeah.
I don't know why they needed it in Queen Street Mall. I think they were just like doing a mad flex or whatever. But it looks so sick.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to take that thing to the beach or something.
That would be cool. Yeah.
So have you always had an interest in, like, I guess, at-risk? Is that what you call them, at-risk youth? Is that what you'd say?
I wouldn't say I've always had an interest in at-risk youth, but I've always had an interest in, I guess, working with young people.
Yeah.
So just with volunteering heaps at youth ministry at church, and then eventually deciding I wanted to do it for work. This is where I ended up, and I'm loving it. But I think I just love supporting people.
Yeah.
Whether it's young people or someone else. Yeah.
Where do you think that like passion, I guess, for working with young people came from?
I would say that my experience with my youth leaders when I was in youth, they had a huge impact in my life, and I wanted to do the same when I went on to become a youth leader. And
who were your youth leaders?
Matt Grace and Warren.
Oh, really? Okay.
Warren. And I had Timmy Lucas. At one point, I had Michael Talek at one point, Barry Morris.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So,
so you were a bit the next sort of level, age group up from, because when I was a youth leader, I don't think those guys were around. I was like, like Brandon Kennedy. I had him on the podcast not long ago.
Yeah.
I was his youth leader.
Yeah, right.
Well, okay. I was his youth leader for like 3 months.
Still counts.
Tim Lucas always says that I was the worst ever youth leader there was.
Why is that?
Because I signed up. I was like, yeah, let's do this thing. This sounds incredible.
And then 3 months later?
And then I was must have been like a 4th year apprentice now, and we got all this work to go out west.
Yeah.
And so I had no choice because I was just like bottom of the barrel, not bottom of the barrel of the company, but pretty close. And so I was like, hey, Tim, you just spent all this time investing to me as a youth leader. I got to bail. He was like, you are the worst youth leader ever.
Yeah, so...
That's cool. So having those guys around.
Yeah, so that's probably what got me into it. And then just experiencing that working with young people kind of grew that passion inside me. So I decided I wanted to do it for a job.
Yeah.
I stopped pursuing the engineering that I was doing, that I was studying.
That's right, because you were doing that, hey?
Yeah, so I did in total 3 years of it, 2 years at TAFE, 1 year at uni. So I did a diploma of youth work and then ended up in a high school. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I never thought I would go back to a school. never really wanted to.
It's funny how it happens.
Yeah,
eh?
but ever since stepping into the school and working there, I wouldn't change it.
Feels like it's the right place to be.
Yeah, and
That's so good.
yeah, it's fun. Like it's a good community to be part of.
Good on you for acknowledging, I guess, that, I think it's so easy. And some people would say it's the right thing to do. I don't necessarily agree, but they would say, no, you just got to finish your course and then stick it out.
Yeah.
But you just got to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It sounds dumb and oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, with my Hexstat.
Yeah, and I know there are realities to it, but the idea of continue, for instance, for yourself, going, you know what, I really want to go and do youth work, but hey, I've now started this engineering. I've got to finish it, and I've got to find a job in a company. You'd be there for all your life.
Yeah, that's it.
Before you look back and go, damn it, I had a moment there where I could have done that, and had a crack at it.
Would have been bored out of my brains, I reckon.
Yeah.
It would have been challenging, and there's worldly things like probably a better pay and stuff like that, but they say just find a job that you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
there was obviously something that drew you to engineering before you started.
Yeah.
So you probably would have had anything, some goods and some good days and some bad days.
Yeah.
But there's always something niggling where you go, I should go and do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So
that's even what I've done with my study, for instance. I could have just cruised along doing something to do in the electrical industry, which I have zero passion for.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do any cash.
Yeah. How did you end up in that?
In electrical industry? I just fell into it. So I hated school.
Yeah.
I liked my mates at school, and I liked being the person that could annoy the teacher, troll the teacher. Yeah. And feel free to adjust that. And I went to Redlands College for a year in year 11. So I went to Manly State School, and then I was a pain in the butt kid. I got kept down, just hated school. So my parents sent me to Seton College, which is I shouldn't have been at Seton College. Maybe I should have been.
That's just where's it? Down the road from Carindale?
Near on Cav Road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
that. Yeah. So it's a Catholic private school, but it's small. There was max 230 kids or something. Yeah. But it's probably, and I got to be careful how to say this because it's probably not correct. It felt like it was half disabilities.
Well, is it? I think these days, actually, I have no idea, to be honest, but I thought these days it has turned into a special education focused school.
Yeah.
Where they have extra support for students that need those needs.
Oh, it kind of felt like that when I was there.
Maybe it was on its way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lot more kids, even in my classroom.
Yeah.
In the same class as me, there was kids with say cerebral palsy or Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And definitely a lot of kids with learning difficulties, behavior issues, which I think that's one of the reasons why I was in there. Looking back, as a mature adult now, I go, yeah, it was the right place for me.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I was like, why am I here? What am I at this school? I used to when we'd get on the bus to go home, I would take my school uniform off and put a T-shirt on because we used to get like paid out by all the other schools.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, these schools like Seton, Speds or something like this.
Jeez.
Like you jacks.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then I went to Redlands because Seton only went to mainly to year 10, and then you kind of had to get, there was like a special class, couple of 2 classes that went to year 11 and 12.
Yeah, right.
But they tried to either push going into like a trade or vocation or TAFE or something or to another school, which I don't know why they necessarily did that, to be honest, but I'm not too sure what their reasoning behind that. I guess that way they could keep it smaller. And also most of the kids were going into TAFE.
Yeah, I guess probably the majority of their clientele wasn't planning on going on to do university or something like that.
Yeah, we weren't academics.
Yeah, so they focused all their energy and or the support into getting them into work, I guess.
Yeah, like I had some mates that I went there with, and they went on to like to do like OPs and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But so I went to Redlands after that for a year, and just it was fun. But trying to go to like a school in year 11,
a big change.
It's a big change,
Yeah, especially from like Seton to Redlands College.
Yeah, from like 230 kids to like I don't know how many's there, a lot more than 230 kids. And you kind of like there was literally 2 classes per grade at Seton.
Yeah.
Now there's like 4 or 5, maybe even more than that. And I enjoyed it, but then parts of it I probably didn't enjoy. And I got into a lot of trouble there. Like I was always in the responsible thinking classroom or whatever, which is where I don't know if they believed in detentions. And so you would just go to this room, fill out like why was I doing this?
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I got so good at filling out that form that they're like, don't even bother. Just go and help the drama teacher build sets.
Go and do some like just supporting it, someone else, helping someone else as your
and it was the best.
Your service time.
So I used to purposely go there so I could go and build drama sets and stuff. But and then just on the school holidays, so I finished that. And I probably finished the year fully expecting to go into year 12, but not looking forward to it. And then one day my dad, who was an electrician as well, he came home and was like, hey, there's this company that I know, they're looking for an apprentice. Do you want it?
Mm.
And I didn't think about it at all. As a year 11er, I think I was more thinking about the fact that I wouldn't have to go back to school. Yeah. Rather than the fact that this is 4 years of
this
apprentice.
Is awesome. This is a door, and I'm going to go straight through it. I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of it. And then, so I think I had signed the papers in 2 days or something.
Yeah.
And I reckon at least there wouldn't have been any more than the first weekend. I was like, what have I done?
Yeah,
I hate this. And literally it was like that. Probably I did not enjoy my apprenticeship for 4 years. It was pretty brutal. It was a challenging time. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
But it was rough. And I wasn't a good apprentice either. I was pretty crap because I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, the attitude wasn't there.
Yeah, I have I'm pretty handy. I can build stuff, but because I didn't, I literally in the back of my mind, I think I always was thinking, as soon as I'm done with this apprenticeship, I can go and do something else. Mm. So I just never took it in. I don't guys who were started the same day as me.
You checked out on day one.
Yeah, I was checked out. Someone would be showing us something, and then I would be the one who would kind of have to come back and be like, or I'd do it wrong.
Yeah.
And I used to beat myself up about that, and I copped a lot of heat from the people I worked from as well. I'm surprised they didn't get rid of me, but I think it's hard to get rid of an apprentice. And I think it taught me a lot though in the long run.
Yeah,
it taught me a lot about listening, actually committing to a decision as well.
Yeah,
and going, okay, no, this is what I'm doing now. I need to go all in on it. And then if it's only all in for the next 3 months, so be it.
Yeah,
but I need to give my best here now. It actually. As weird as it sounded, it probably taught me a good work ethic by being a slack ass for 4 years.
Yeah.
Because now, even I'm a tradie.
Yeah, you learn something over the long run. Yeah.
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 And it's given me something even today I was working, I'm not doing electrical work, but I was doing lawn stuff.
Yeah.
But I had this young fella who was 18 and he was working really hard, which was really cool, but I was able to kind of speak into that a bit as well. Yeah. Just about my experiences and don't be that guy who turns up late or doesn't listen.
Learn from my mistakes.
Learn from my mistakes because I can tell you from experience it doesn't work in the long run.
Yeah.
So long story short, I fell into that and then I have been doing that for years and then I was like, I want to do something else and I've always known that I have to be my own boss in some capacity.
Yeah.
For a while there, I had it in my head, I want to build a big business and have my big dream was to be like a Richard Branson because we've got the same initials. So I was like, it's going to happen. And,
it's a sign.
Yeah. I was like, that's what I want to do. when I think about that now, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want that much responsibility. I don't want to look after that many people, but I still always knew that I wanted to create something.
Yeah.
So, I built like a clothing business for a while there. Same thing again, probably wasn't as passionate about clothing. I was passionate about starting a business, which was good. I learned a lot. Didn't lose any money. Sold some cool shirts. And then I've always wanted to do some sort of graphic design thing. Yeah. And so I thought, why not?
Why not?
And then the other thing, I guess, is this podcast. Like, I wanted to do this podcast for years now. And I had a crack a couple of years ago or last year. Yeah. Did 4 episodes, compared myself to like, I don't know, a million, like a Joe Rogan or a Tim Ferriss or something. I was like, I'm not that person. I can't do it. But in something niggling was like, just keep doing it.
Yeah, start from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And even like not to, I think I'm not necessarily thinking about like, oh, one day I'll have all these subscribers. That would be incredible. But it's more just, how can I sit down with interesting people like yourself and have a chat and have a beer on a Tuesday night?
This is
pretty good, it's awesome. And share that with the world and teach yourself something. Yeah. So it's awesome. It is good. That's I don't know. How did we start talking about that?
It was about how I went from engineering to my youth work. How I made that call to do a change, and then you did the same thing in your life. It's just
that's right.
Saying, no, this is not what I'm super passionate about, and just making that call and making that change despite what the consequences may be.
Yeah, it's it, isn't it? Like, and just doing it.
Yeah,
like,
just making that first step.
Yeah, there's no perfect time. There's never a perfect time to do anything, and just So, what do you reckon your big? Do you have like I want to do youth work? What would be your kind of the epitome of that? Like, what would that look like?
I don't know. I'm not really a I would say I'm not really a super high achieving person. Okay. So I'm not gonna. I don't try and I don't try and push myself towards something usually.
Right.
I don't know whether that's just my laziness that I had all through high school, or if it's just because I love to just live in the moment. And just go with the flow, see where it takes me, type of thing. But I think just any role where I get to support people. Yeah, I think I don't know.
So you're just really content with this is where I'm at now. When this season changes, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Man, that's such a chill way to be about it.
Yeah, I like.
That's cool.
When I'm in something, I like to commit to it for a while. Like when I did youth leading, I led my youth boys from when they were in grade 8, so when they started in youth until they graduated in grade 12.
That's a big thing, hey?
Yeah, so I was like, nah, these are, and then I continued to lead for a little bit longer. But yeah, same thing at this school. Ideally, I started in 2018, and ideally I would love to be there all the way until those 2018 grade 7s graduate in grade 12.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
you really like seeing that progression,
that long journey progression, and just seeing that growth. I love being part of that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that would be my goal, to at least make it, even I just don't know how long I'll be there. Like last year, I was a bit unsettled in the role.
So how long have you been in that role? Sorry.
So this role that I'm in at the moment, I have been. I started term 4 last year, so maybe end of October.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Mid-October, I think it was. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
So this is why we're chatting, because I didn't know any of this
so I started that role, this role then. But before then I was in the chaplaincy role, and for whatever reason, I was unsettled in the chaplaincy role. And
what do you mean by unsettled? Like
I just
wasn't gelling.
I started to not want to be there. but it wasn't because of the people I was working with. It wasn't because of the young people that I got to work with. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things going on. One, like in my personal life, my wife and I buying a house, and I think the stress of that, and then my volunteering at youth, and a whole bunch of things were just adding into, I guess, maybe me being tired at work and not wanting to be there.
Yeah.
And then this position became available when I applied for it, along with the other jobs that I applied for last year. And I was successful for this one. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to give it 100%.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, this role has brought some extra challenges and extra responsibilities, and yeah, I'm loving it. So
what are some of the extra challenges?
Probably just I probably like it's they're kind of my bosses, or the people that, like the deputy principals and the principals and stuff like that. They're a little bit more on me in regards to, like, we need to meet with these students. We need to get these students into school. We need to,
So you have some like targets.
Yeah. So I've got these these targets and things I need to meet. Whereas I was doing a little bit of this in chaplaincy, but it was a little bit kind of like flexible. It wasn't really my role, and I was just doing it as an extra thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess there's a lot more students that I need to kind of meet with and keep on supporting, and see what I can do to support them and their families. So so which is good. It keeps me busy. And I think that's what I enjoy.
There's something cool though, like something that you said before, that the fact that you can see a child or a kid, so a student is probably the most professional word. What is a kid, like a baby goat or something? That's what my dad always used to be like, Dokes, you're not a kid. You're not a baby goat.
I always accidentally call them kids, like when I'm talking to my colleagues. I'm like, damn it, no, young people, youth, teenagers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, give them their correct title. Yeah.
But it's really cool that there is like that, like there's a transition period there, like a progression period where you're saying like you can see like this kid, I just said it again, from year 9, what is it, year 7?
7, yeah.
So they're year 9.
Yeah, so they're, well, they're like, some of them are like 11 years old when they come into high school, which is...
That's crazy.
Which is ridiculous. I'm still kind of in the middle in regards to whether grade 7 should be in high school.
Why are they 11? Oh, because of year 7.
Yeah, so it used to be grade 8 was the start, and then they changed that.
Because you turn 12 in year 7, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like grade 7's like they're kids. Like, like they're just the way that they hang out during lunch breaks and talk and yeah.
Like I remember as a year 7, I thinking like, because even probably when you went to school, primary school was just grade 1 to year 7.
Yeah, and
then unless you're at like a big high school where it was primary and high school together, you would go to another school. So year 7, I was 12. Yeah, actually, I turned 13 because I got kept.
You felt like the top dog.
Man, I was king.
Yeah,
and I was given so much attitude to all these teachers, and looking back on it, you're like, you are a child.
I remember going to high school in grade 7 and seeing this man in like student uniform. Like he's like drinking, like it doesnn't sound much now, but he's like drinking like 1 liter of just plain milk during lunch. He looked so like just muscly and just formed, and then he had like a stubble, like yourself at the moment, and I was just like, what, like. He's still in school uniform. Did you get kept down or something like but he was actually only 17 or something like that.
Yeah, not an undercover teacher.
Yeah, it's just that kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, that's
a huge shock.
It is amazing. Like because I remember being in primary school, and we we were near Wynnum High. So we would walk to primary school and then all the Wynnum High kids, and I used to be terrified of them all. I was like, you guys like 1,000 years older than me. Like you're just like a grown adult. But it is incredible how much you grow in that short amount of time. Hey, that's nuts. Imagine if we kept doing that as adults. It'd just be crazy. If like the person was 10 years older than you, like looked like an adult and like another, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you seem to reach like 20s and everyone looks the same.
And everyone, just slowly gets a little bit.
Just deteriorates.
Yeah, a little bit worse.
So for me, because I got no hair, I just throw everybody off.
Yeah. You still look 21, mate.
I had a guy yesterday and he was like, because I was with these new fellas, and he's like, "Oh, how old are you? Are you in like your early 20s?" And I like took my hat off. He's like, "Are you in your early 30s?" I was like, almost. I'm 30 this year, but close.
Yeah. Just because you got no hair.
Yeah. It's like, oh, mate, come on.
Yeah.
And, it's like at the, this is what I just tell stories. We went to see U2 at, that sounded weird. We went to see U2, well, the band U2 at Suncorp Stadium. And I was with James and we went to go get a beer. Like, I think it was just before it started. And, so James Bignall, the guy asked him for ID.
Yeah.
Got him
which is understandable.
Understandable.
Yeah. It is James.
And then, the guy was like, because I wasn't wearing a hat or anything, the guy's like, "Oh, actually, can I see your ID as well?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." No one ever asked me
a compliment,
this.
man.
And when I showed it to him, he's like, "Oh, I just said that because I know." And he's like, "Look, I'm bald as well. No one ever asked for my ID, so I just thought it'd make you feel better." I was like, "Oh, thanks,
So
but
good.
you just also just destroyed everything."
By explaining your compliment.
Like, you have to explain it. I was on a high. I was going to go and just like have the best U2 concert of my life as a young fella. But no, that's really cool. It's really cool that you've kind of found that like your place for now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that it like you've been able to buy a house as well. That's pretty awesome. That's very exciting.
Which is like all these things. I'm just like back when I was finishing school, I would have never thought this is where I would be. But
it's a good achievement, that's for sure.
Yeah. So,
have you been doing renos and everything on it?
Yeah. So when we bought it, the first, so we got the keys at like 2 p.m. one afternoon, and then by 4 p.m. we had sledgehammers out.
Right.
Yeah, knocking down the central wall.
Yeah.
To the house.
No mucking around.
No mucking around. So we had our friend AG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So AG's our life group leader.
Is he still your life group leader?
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's got the building experience. So he helped us out a hell of a lot with the renos. But yeah, we knocked down some walls and redid all the flooring, painted the whole house.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Feels like a new house. Like it is a new house, but it feels
made
like
it our own. So but
that's
yeah,
really,
a whole heap of people helped us out, which was awesome. And I had no building experience at all. Neither did Shani, and it's a learning experience.
It's good if you've got people that can help you out. Hey,
yeah,
that's really cool.
It's so good. Like even just like putting we put the just that clip-in flooring.
Oh yeah,
the wooden. Yeah, it's fake wood type of stuff.
Can be a bugger.
Yeah, and just because it clips in on all four sides, and I'd never done it before. AG started me off, and I was able to do the whole house.
Yeah, awesome.
It's just so
That's
cool.
really
to just
cool.
learn something little like that. It's like if we ever do it again, hopefully we don't. But yeah.
But it's so good, and so you did all that before you moved in as well.
Yeah. So all of it before.
That's all incredible.
So, we're fortunate enough to stay at the in-laws' place.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So
that's always a plus.
Yep. So
that's great.
So
you reckon you'll be there for a while then?
I think so.
Put enough effort.
I think in
into it.
Shani's mind, when we were kind of going through the buying process, she was like, "Oh, a couple years or so, and then maybe a look to go somewhere else." And then after we put all this effort in and changed all this stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, I think we'll have to be here for a while." She's like, "I don't think I'll be able to let it go."
No,
So
especially if you made it your own.
Yeah,
I don't know how these people like flip houses, like
and so quickly.
Yeah,
as
like
well.
like I get the people who like they live in a house and then they have a business and they just get in here and quickly renovate it. But these people, you see these people and they'll kind of like buy a house and then they'll do all this stuff over like a year and then it's gone.
And
On
then
to
they're
the
gone.
next one.
And that's their life.
Yeah, but like that's just so much.
Yeah.
It'd be so much like emotional energy. I guess you would just have to learn to not get attached.
Yeah. I guess if this one, it's our first home. So I think we've got, that extra bit of emotional attachment to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys would just go in and see it as an object or financial value.
Yeah.
And
It's just a profit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I guess it's kind of like if you were to, with the shirts, the business, with the clothing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you make your first shirt and you can't let go of it. But yeah, really, you're just making it, you're designing it, and then you just let it go and
move on to the next one.
Obviously, in a lot larger scale, but
For sure.
yeah,
But it is true. Like even with that business, for instance, I probably continued BPM for longer than I should have, I reckon. Like,
tried to hold on to it.
yeah. And not so much like because it was just costing me heaps of money, but just like my passion wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so I would just force myself to like pack orders and I was grateful that people kept buying the same shirt. I was like,
they're great shirts.
yeah, I was like, aren't you guys sick of this shit already? I still have people going, oh, you should release some more BPM shirts.
Yeah.
But I'd probably like, I think for me, I had it's just kind of my first sort of business, put myself out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pride as well with going, oh, I'm going to close this up. And like my personality. So going back to what we were talking about before, how you're not like a big, like, well, what did you say?
I don't strive towards something like
literally like, and I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. I think it can be both, but I have an idea.
Yeah.
In 2 seconds, I'm like, what's the biggest this could possibly be? And now I'll try and scale it back.
Yeah.
And so like the whole time I was thinking about BPM, I was like, we're going to become like one of the biggest clothing companies in the world. We're going to do all this
Have
stuff.
this massive factory and
just
pumping out.
It's going to be incredible. Like,
over 1,000 employees.
Yeah. Like Amazon, we're going to have drones flying around. We're going to one day create like electric cars. Like, this is how I think, no joke. And then to then go, oh, you know what? That didn't work out. I need to move on to the next thing. I'm like, my brain, I think, quickly like transitions because I'm already now thinking. I reckon while I'm not passionately packing orders, it's because I'm thinking of, oh, if I wasn't doing this, I could have a go at doing that.
Yeah.
But the other part is going, I know I talked this up to my friends. I've got to
you can explain yourself almost.
Yeah. There's an interesting saying that they like. It's very common in like Silicon Valley and stuff where they say like fail fast. So they're like, start something and then fail, but fail fast. Move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Don't prolong that fail. Cut your losses and keep moving on.
Yeah,
which it definitely has its. I think it definitely has its pros. I think it also has its cons. I think because you can pack it in too early. Like I think so many things, and I reckon even BPM, for instance, anything really, it's really you're only going to be successful by continuing to like run through those walls.
Yeah.
And they always say that like success is on the other side of failure. So like directly at the door, not opposite. There's some saying, I just wrecked it.
No, 100% agree. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's my life.
Yeah.
Like it's just like finishing like school. I went all the way to grade 12, but then I got OP18. So like.
What's the highest you can get?
So it goes from 1 to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 25 is the worst.
So you're like the last quarter.
Yeah, that last little bit.
Is that math?
Yeah, and then it's like I loved going to school because of my friends, but just never applied myself, got distracted, stuff like that. And I was like, and then all of a sudden I thought, oh, let's go do engineering. So I went to TAFE and only just scraped through because of my mates and went on to uni and then dropped out. And
what do you mean because of your mates?
I I loved going to TAFE because I met some awesome blokes.
Yeah.
And I still catch up with them these days. And,
That's good.
And then went on to uni with them. But there was just a lot of things where I didn't apply myself. I didn't do well. But I was like, if I didn't go on to do TAFE and didn't go on to do that engineering, then I wouldn't have met these guys. Yeah. So, like, even though something feels like bad happens, because I was pretty like embarrassed when I got the EP18 letter. I was like, oh man, I'm not going to tell anyone this. Yeah. But then I went on and I met these guys and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if I didn't make that hard call of dropping out of uni and stopping that, I wouldn't have ended up in this position that I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's got to go through those, break through those walls to find the brighter side to things, and
also
reap the rewards.
You've got to sometimes try things to realize you don't want to do them.
Yeah,
like if you hadn't have done engineering, for instance, and maybe like if you had have just gone straight into youth work, there might have been something that going, oh, maybe I want to be an engineer. Like maybe I want to try and do that. Because it's those, I get paid more, I'll enjoy it more. But, and who knows, maybe in 10 years or something, you might go back to that.
Yeah.
Never say never, but like without doing 3 years of that, you can't confidently step into youth work.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I've had a taste of that. I've had a taste of studying it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. I can confidently move on to this without constantly looking back and going, yeah. Like even like for me, for instance, like the trade stuff. I'm in a trade now purely because it's 3 days a week and I don't have to think. But like I've become a tradie and all that sort of stuff. I've worked in an engineering firm. Now that I'm sort of pursuing what I finally want to do, I think I've kind of gotten that out of my system. Like, I've always like working with my hands, and tradies, you can earn good money and sometimes have your own hours. And so the way that my brain works, I may have been even down the track gone, you know what, maybe I should try and become a tradie. See what happens. Like, but I've done that now and I know that's not for me. I can move on to the next thing, And sometimes when it does come, that feeling does come back where you're like, I wonder if I'm doing the right thing. I can like just think of like one day of being an apprentice and be like,
back.
Nope, not going back there.
Yeah.
That was not a fun time.
Never again.
So it is interesting how like that, I guess you were talking about the pieces of those like students' lives, but like even of our life, how it all kind of falls into place.
Yeah. It all develops you, and I'm a firm believer that nothing goes to waste.
Yeah.
None of your experiences, none of what you've actually learnt and absorbed in life goes to waste. It's all going to be used at some point in your life. So
it is incredible how it always comes, something always pops up. Hey, where you're like, oh, glad I learnt that.
Yeah, that's it. So, and whether or not I did. One thing that I get paid out constantly by my wife is that I did French immersion at Mansfield.
Really?
So I did.
Oui.
I did. I did all through. Grades 8 to 10. I did. I think it was 5 of my subjects in French.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you still speak French?
No. So I just don't record information like that.
Right.
I don't. Yeah, and again, I probably didn't apply myself. So I can say like bonjour, like majority of people in je m'appelle Jason, and
I'm impressed that you use Jason.
Yeah, you got to say it with proper accent.
Richard.
And like I can say this line off what's the song? I think it's a Moulin Rouge or something like that.
Hello, France or something.
It's a little bit. I don't know if it's
like,
inappropriate.
Do you want to sleep with me?
Yeah. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir, s'il vous plaît?
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Not what I was going to say.
Yeah. So that's all I remember. And out of the And then I did French in grade 11 and 12 as well as a subject. And I just don't remember any of it. But I've learnt, like, I know that I've learnt something in those classes.
Yeah.
Whether it's just from me interacting with the teachers or interacting with my classmates, I've grown somehow.
Do you think that if you went to France, some of it would come back? Because
no, it's a hard no.
That's
I'd get lost. I'd feel like I'm back in class, just the teachers talking, and I'm like, "What are you saying?" Yeah. So, and it's the same for engineering. I did so much, but I can't remember it, and I've just realised it's just not how I learn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
But I know I've learnt something. I learnt a lot through that time, but just maybe not what I should have learnt. Yeah,
I remember we had this, in primary school, our French teacher. I remember her name. Her name was Madame Cosgrove, and
Madame Cosgrove.
She used to bring a friggin'. She was into like rescuing possums,
right?
Like
wild possums on the streets.
I think so. And then she would kind of
they've been hit by cars or something.
Things like that. And then I don't know what she did with them, but she used to always bring them into class. So she would she had it in like a bag.
Yeah.
And there'd be a flipping possum in there. And so she like, this is no lie. Like she'd be sitting like at her desk and there's this bag and there's like possum's heads just like sticking out. And you know how like possums in the light, they look like they're just like stoned.
Yeah.
They just like looking around like
the rings in their eyes and everything. Yeah.
What's going on, bro? Yeah. Like that's what it looked like. It was just like look at us the whole time.
Yeah.
And like I just couldn't concentrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
that's what you remember out of your French class.
Yeah. This is like how bad I was a terrible child. But we had this fill-in French teacher. And so she was like big tall lady with like red hair. And she had like the longest armpit hairs I've ever seen, like longer than any bloke I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and so I was just mesmerized. Just like, what the heck is? She's got these like red, like lion's manes hanging from underneath her arms, and like no joke, like they would come down to like probably closer to her like breasts, and one of my friends was like, oh. Google, or it wasn't Google back then. I think we had like a French dictionary or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, learn how to say, oh my, your armpits are so hairy in French. So silly me.
Yeah.
My friends like convinced me. I just went up and said it to her.
Yeah.
I got detention for like a week. She was not a happy camper. Well, I was like, well, trim your armpits then. Like, you don't want me saying something.
Well, like,
as a 10-year-old.
Like, I'm all for people like if they don't want to shave, they don't want to shave. They don't have to shave. But if it's hanging out, like
mate, well, yeah, like I'm not.
And you're like a high school teacher, you're asking for it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's like the standard is you have to shave your armpits if you're a female.
But
this was brutal. You could flat them. I was like,
the wind would blow.
Yeah, like surely this is distracting. One, how are they so long? I've never shaved my armpits, and they're not very long hairs.
Yeah,
these were like manes.
Yeah,
it reminded me. It was during the days of Pokemon, and there was a Pokemon called like Vixen or something, which had 9 tails and it was red.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, it looks like Vixen's tail. Or I think it was Vixen.
Yeah.
Those are the days. Maybe that's why I went to Seton College.
Maybe. But hey, you would have fit in well at Logan Lee, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I would have been one of your students. Probably not just the attitude. Yeah, I had some. I remember we had like our family like pastor guy at the church we used to go to.
Yeah,
like came round to my house. And they had like an intervention once, and he had these. He like sat me down like it never happened before.
Yeah,
just came around at like 8:00 at night. Sat me down in my room because I must have been. I was thinking I was going through a bad time with my parents. And he had these cards that had like a bear on them, in like doing all different like poses. So like one would be like happy, and so it was a bear that was like a smiley face. Another one would be like embarrassed. It was that sort of thing. And so he would ask me questions and be like, "Can you show me? Can you pick a bear?" and like this is the emotion that you're feeling. And so I just made up like this like ridiculous story
Yeah.
using all these emotions
Yeah.
because it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And when I look back on that, I'm like, what a jerk! Like this guy took out all his time out of his night to come around and try and help me, and I was just an idiot. Like, it's amazing that that I'm actually a decent human.
Yeah. There's hope.
Yeah,
There's hope for my current students.
yeah. The funniest thing is that Denny, my wife,
Yeah.
the
Is
complete
the
opposite.
biggest. Yeah, I remember her because I went to the same school as her.
Oh right, yeah,
So I remember her. She was a goody two shoes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Never been in
Teacher's
detention.
pet. Yeah.
I think she said the other day she got one detention in her whole life, and it was because she didn't fill out her diary or something, school diary or something.
Yeah. Didn't put her homework in there.
Something. And it turned out it was on a technicality or something the teacher literally hadn't told anybody. I was like, what the heck? That's your one detention and it shouldn't even be a detention.
Yeah.
It was like, we would not have been friends at school then.
Yeah. No way.
I'm sorry.
You guys would be on the opposite side of the classroom if you guys were in the same
Yeah.
room. Yeah.
It would have been like using like a pea shoot or whatever, shooting at the back of her head.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, Miss, Richard's doing this. Did you go to Mansfield your whole like schooling life?
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, well, just the high school. Yeah.
Mm.
So, I don't know why I went there.
Did you live in that area?
Well, my mum moved so we used to live in Runcorn, and then she moved to Rochdale to, whether that was in the catchment or because, she just wanted to be close to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she said I can either go to Cav Road or Mansfield. I had no idea about any of these schools. I didn't know what one was, which one was which. And I'm like, Mansfield. So that's where I ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of me is like, who would I be if I went to Cav Road? Like,
Yeah, different sort of kids would go there as well.
Yeah. So I know they were very sport focused
Yeah.
at that time, and they probably still are. But yeah, it's just
You might have been what sort of sports are you into?
well, I played baseball growing up.
Baseball?
Yeah. So,
Okay. Not a very common one in
no,
Australia, is it?
No. So I played baseball pretty much all the way up until finishing grade 12 or until grade 12.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
What club was that at?
played at Runcorn Indians for a little bit, and then went to Redland Rays.
Like rays, as in
Like stingrays.
Stingrays,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
So, once Runcorn was good. But then once I went to Redlands was like, you know, in the movies, there's that stereotypical all black uniform, club that's, just dominates everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Redlands. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Like, have you seen bench warmers?
Yeah. Yeah. It's got like that, was that 30-year-old man on the pitches now? Yeah. I'm 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, then went to Redland Race and played there, and that was really, I loved it. Loved playing it. It was the catcher. So in all the gear at the back behind the batsman. Yeah. So I did that, and then other fielding positions as well. So kind of miss doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there much of like an adult baseball league?
Yeah, there is. So there's even like Brisbane, like each capital city's got a
Wow.
team. Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
so they play at what's that? Where they do the Eka.
Oh, Brisbane Showgrounds.
Yeah.
RNA Showgrounds.
Yeah, I
whatever.
think they play there. So
Okay.
that's where their field is set up and everything. So
I don't think I've ever watched a full game of baseball.
I'm not a huge fan of watching it.
That
Just
play,
like
that's
I never
right.
used to be. I never used to be a huge fan of watching cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now these days I love it because of the social aspect, because usually there's someone else there watching with me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit, I don't know, I find it slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were watching, on Sunday night, we're at the beach house.
Yeah.
And they had it was best. On one TV, they had that NBA
All-Star game.
All-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the next one, they had some baseball.
Yeah.
It was just like watching the picture. And I'm like, one, how the heck do you throw it that fast? And then two, how do you hit that thing?
Yeah.
Like I could never. I remember playing softball. Like I didn't play for a club. We just, at school when it would rain or something, you'd go and do that. I couldn't even hit a softball.
Yeah. And it's like twice as big. Yeah.
And it's like a 12-year-old throwing it at me. So it's probably going like 30K. And then you watch this picture, like, and it's like floating through the air and this sort of thing. Yeah. And the dude hit it a few times.
Yeah.
I feel like most of baseball is people missing, right? That's what it kind of looks like when I watched it on TV.
I don't know. Like it's 50-50. Like it's a bit of both. Depends on how good the batsman is and how good the pitcher is. So, but it is satisfying when you either get that strike if you're the pitcher or if you're the batsman, you hit the ball, you absolutely slog it. Yeah.
Do you follow? Do you know the comedian Chris D'Elia?
It sounds familiar. I'm not a huge names person.
You'd probably know him if you saw him. He has this cool bit. He has a podcast called Congratulations. Yeah. Where it's just literally him for like an hour or an hour and a half, whatever, with the camera just talking crap and like Googling things and like talking about. Right. But he was I don't know how he started talking about it, but he was talking about how in baseball, when you watch it, the commentators commentate on everything but the actual what's going on in the game.
Yeah, they always talk about the crowd and everything.
Yeah, so it was like, they always talk about like who's coming up to the plate, rather than how the game's going. So it's like, this is Terrence Howard, and he ranges from Los Angeles, and his mother does this.
His batting average is blah blah blah.
Yeah, his batting average is swing and a miss. Like that, like that's how they talk. Right field, swing and a miss. Like, and then, it's just the funniest. The way he does it is so good.
It's so true, though.
Yeah, when you get a chance, go on YouTube, Chris D'Elia, baseball commentator.
All right, I'll check it out.
He's not for everybody, but I reckon he's probably my favorite comedian at the moment.
All right,
just because I just like listening to him, and he just rants so much. Yeah. So funny. But I found that so funny that baseball's just one of those ones. Hey, it's just not like most of Australia's radar. Just those different games that.
Well, it's hard, when there's when it's cricket, and that's the closest thing probably. I'm assuming that we have.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've seen softball on TV. Like on a Sunday afternoon on like a 9 mate or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And you're like, what am I watching?
Nah. Why play softball when
I don't understand
when you can play baseball? Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Is it the same?
Why have a bigger ball and have to throw it underarm?
Is that the only differences?
I don't know. I'm assuming
it looks the same.
I'm assuming there's more differences.
People, softball players, anyone listening to this is going to hate me.
You can't create a whole new game and just change the ball size and how you throw it. Yeah.
Well,
but it is impressive how quick they can throw underarm. Like,
and not like their
unreal.
Arm doesn't like rip off.
Yeah. So
it is insane. They must have some, like even the pitchers we're watching in baseball, man, they must have some shoulder issues when they get older.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I was like watching this guy and like he's this massive dude and he was throwing it. I'm like, oh, your left shoulder is just screaming. I can hear it through the TV.
Even when I was at school or something and I threw a tennis ball instead of a baseball because I was so used to throwing a baseball, which has got a lot more weight to it, I had to be careful because I would throw the tennis ball so hard that my shoulder would hurt.
Oh, wow.
And I've been told by like my coach and everything back then is that if you throw something a lot lighter, like you would normally with the same strength as you would with the baseball, there's people that have like dislocated their shoulder. So that's a no from me. I'll just stick to it.
It is, I remember as a kid we threw, like a vortex.
Yeah, yeah.
We were at a surf beach and we just threw it for like an hour to each other. And my shoulder was just dead. But I reckon for like a good year after that, whenever there was an ad 4 tires just then, Goodyear tires.
Yeah.
Whenever I started through something, instantly my arm would hurt.
Yeah.
I'd definitely done something terrible to it.
Yeah.
The other one was kicking. I used to play like a heap of soccer. And you kick it pretty hard. And then, those like kids' balls that are like, they might have frozen on them or something.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
just like
Just air.
super light.
Yeah.
I just like belted one of them and I did something to I think it was my hamstring. Because same thing, you just rip through it.
Yeah.
And there's no force on your foot.
You're expecting
And
it.
I was stuffed. I could barely move my foot. And same thing, same as when I threw the vortex. When I'd go to kick again, I'd be in pain and have to come off the field.
Yeah.
Devastated. I'd probably friggin' Winnie the Pooh
From
or something.
kicking a frozen ball.
Yeah. I wasn't frozen back then. Would have been like something else terrible.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh or some crap.
Teletubbies.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you like NBA? Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a no.
Yeah.
I feel like if you give that response, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like I love sport, love playing it, but when it comes to like watching it and following it, the only reason why I would do it is because of people.
Yeah.
I'm a social butterfly. So yeah.
There seems to be a lot of NBA people around. Like even Ben Dayton.
Yeah.
We're talking about it on this when he sat down because it was just before or just after Kobe Bryant's death.
Mm.
And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have to start getting into NBA.
Yeah,
so I can
so many
talk to
people
you
not.
about it.
Yeah. He probably only watches it and talks about it because he wishes he could play.
Yeah, it sounds like
he's too white to play.
Yeah, that's true.
Too white.
Too
short.
Too skinny jeans. Oh, we're paying out on Ben. Sorry, Ben.
I'm not sorry.
He'll be listening to this. He'll give me my first thumbs down.
Yeah.
There's probably many more when we talk about this much amount of crap. But anyway, that's that's I think that's why I really only follow soccer is the only one, like Premier League soccer. That's because I had a lot of mates who followed it as well.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the only game I can play. I suck at everything else. Cricket, absolutely useless. Just I can't hit the ball. I don't know what it is. I'm left-handed as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah. Little
But I just can't hit it.
Left-handed curse.
Yeah, I remember I played for a church league and I lasted 2 games because literally the guy who ran it was like, we don't want you to come back, buddy.
Wow,
I was like,
harsh.
man, this is
a church league.
This is a church league. How crap, how much more terrible can we get? And I didn't make the cut because I dropped I dropped this catch and it was a tough catch. I don't even reckon anyone else, I don't reckon Smith would have got it.
Yeah.
But then the other one, it was the guy hit it and it just was like slow motion and it came straight to me.
Yeah, and just butterfingers.
Went straight through.
Oh, no.
And I heard the guy who was like the coach kind of guy just going, "You are weak as piss."
On the sideline.
Well, this 18-year-old. I was bored. No, he was he was on the field, but he was further back.
Further back, yeah.
On the outfield or whatever.
You're weak as piss.
And I was like, oh, that must be my cue to not come back.
Yeah. The season is over.
Yeah, but I think I'd even because I get into things way too much. I think I'd even bought some cricket gear.
Yeah.
I'm going to be. I think cricket might be my new sport.
No,
So
all or nothing.
went to Amart or whatever, and the guy kidded me out, and I spent all my money. And I don't know what I did with that after that. I think I just donated it or something.
Op shopped it.
This has been awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good chatting to you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
I didn't know I didn't know so much about I don't know why I said it like that. I didn't know all the things that you just shared. I didn't know much about them. That's not the right way to say it.
I get what you're trying to say.
You know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I'm glad we got to chat. It was really good. And I'm excited to see what you do in your role. You've already been there for a while, but that's really
looking
cool.
forward to continuing to grow and new opportunities. And I'm just, I don't know, it's exciting to see. I don't know, even yourself, you're doing this, this 3-day week, tradie job at the moment.
Yeah.
And you're working on a whole bunch of stuff that you're passionate about. Who knows where you're going to end up after this? And I think that's exciting. Like that's, I don't know, gives me the thrills. Yeah. I love it.
That's the exciting part. I think.
Seeing the journey.
Yeah. And just sort of like making it happen.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not going to, like, one of the things I've learned is nothing ever falls into your lap.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to see what happens. But also if you, like for me, I've got a real goal. It's like, it's not going to happen overnight. Like, someone's not going to be like, hey man, do you want to start a podcast? Like, do you want to host a podcast? And, oh, by the way, it's already got enough subscribers that you don't have to work. It's sweet. Like, and plus, I'm not very good at this, as you saw when we were like,
you're a natural.
Couldn't figure out how to set up the cameras.
It looks pretty good to me.
But even like the conversation stuff, like I'm learning how to do that.
Yeah.
The only way I'm going to get better is by doing it episode after episode after episode. And it's the same with anything. Like
that's it.
The only way you get better at sort of knowing what conversations to have with the students and stuff like that is by having conversations.
Yeah.
You know?
I was a total dweeb 2018. I couldn't talk to kids at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
it is amazing.
Yeah.
Hey,
but it's like the YouTubers that I watch a lot of YouTube, and the YouTubers I watch like have like 10 million subscribers, and like they had to start off with 10.
Yeah,
like it's
they started off with 0
or 0. Well, yeah, they start off with 0, but like that just blows my mind.
Yeah,
they've got
incredible.
10 million people watching their stuff. Like
it's nuts. Hey?
Like unreal all over the world.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. But they just continue to build upon what they know and what they're doing and change it up and make those steps. And
one of the things I really like doing is go and find somebody who I'm like, wow, this person's awesome, or like this channel's awesome, and then sorting the videos by like oldest.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes some of them they'll like delete all their old stuff that they're embarrassed about.
Yeah.
Which I don't really like when they do that. But then other ones, it's like the very first video. Do you know the guy? I always get his name wrong. MKBH.
Yeah, he's one of the guys I watch. MKBHD.
Yeah,
is that it?
Like he just interviewed like Bill Gates,
Marquez Brownlee.
Yeah. But his like, if you go back to like his first video, it's him as like an 11-year-old.
Yeah. Like
he got something for his school, like his laptop or something.
Yeah.
And it's just an unboxing.
Yeah.
And he just started doing all this, and I watched an interview that he did with Bill Gates.
Yeah, there's recently.
Yeah. And one in the comments was like, remember this. So I think it was like, this guy has interviewed Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all this sort of stuff, and he's like, and remember that he started by unboxing like cheap products, like doing unbox videos. And so you just got to start.
Yep.
I think I've shared this on every single episode so far because it keeps coming up. But like my like saying that I'm constantly like drumming into myself is like perfection. No, that's the opposite. Progression over perfection.
Yeah.
So it's like it's never going to be perfect, but just keep progressing.
Yeah, that's it.
As long as this one is better than the one before. Like it did, for instance, this episode is better than the one before. Not necessarily because the guest is better.
Brandon, you're the worst.
Sorry, bro. But like for me, maybe I've asked better questions or gone in deeper.
Yeah.
Or it's better for the viewer to watch or listen to. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it's about.
Hey, you got the lights this time.
Mate, these turned up this afternoon.
Yeah, that's it. You've already got one step up.
Yeah, like I feel it professional.
It's been a pleasure to...
We need to get like some, I don't know, some like real... You know those real tall glasses that you see in like interviews? Nah, let's just stick with our...
Nah, just keep it.
John Boston Pale Ale. Yeah, but anyway, we're rambling now. Well, I'm rambling. But thanks, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Great to have you on.
Happy to be here.
I'm looking forward to what you do in the future.
Yeah.
Alrighty. See you guys.